everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk, and this is my Ask Ivy show where you drop a $10 donation and any question under the sun. Health, wealth, travel, love life. If you want to hear from a deceased loved one, even a pet in spirit, paranormal questions, spiritual development, literally anything goes. I do ask that you include the first name of whoever it is that you're referring to when you drop your question. And if you don't want to do that for privacy purposes, at least drop the initials of whoever you're referring to. And if this is about a work situation, like you're comparing two jobs, I do need the first name and or the initials. Same thing with home addresses and stuff like that. All right, so you can see the directions up above if you're tuning in through YouTube in the description box. But if you're on Instagram or TikTok, it's going to be coming up in the comment section. Diana, my beautiful producer, is handling all of this. So go ahead, drop your donations, drop your questions, and we're going to get right to it. If you prefer to get a reading privately, you can go to Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. Super simple self-booking system. I do work internationally. Okay, something will work in your schedule, I'm sure. It's great to be back. I was on vacation and I was traveling for a while. Had a great time, but I did miss you guys. So happy to be back into it. Let's see who we're starting with. It looks like Melissa Subia says, can I just get a general reading? General reading for Melissa. Melissa, what am I getting for you? I hear your engine revving and I see your tires moving. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't see the car going anywhere. So it does look more like a truck. Now, these are all symbols. But what this can really mean is that you're feeling big, you're feeling strong, you're ready to go. You got a lot of energy, you've got a lot of enthusiasm. You have a lot of positivity as well in regards to your power, self-empowerment, where you want to be headed. So a lot of knowledge and wisdom and clarity and certainty about all of that. The drive is there. We just have to get this like stick shift in gear. You know what I mean? We just have to get this thing moving. Now, the idea too of you being in like a truck with big knobby tires and all of this versus like, I don't know, a Beetle, is that you're not imagining this level of power. If you were imagining you were inflating things and you actually had no power, and you weren't, going to be able to do all the things you're feeling are coming in and that you want to do, then, you wouldn't get this. It's you. The symbol of the truck with the big knobby tires and all these things are you. This is all a manifestation of your current energy and circumstances. So I think what's important for you to understand is that, even if things aren't moving just yet, they will be. You have a set of grandparents. You have a grandmother, though, who doesn't really like your grandfather. I don't know, that was altogether uncommon during those times. But, it's like, I know they're together legally, but she's like, don't stand by me, or I don't claim him, or this isn't. And even though they have the same message, so there may have been some conflict between your grandparents. We'll leave it at that. I'm sure everyone's aware. But, they are in agreement about this message, and they may come through to you separately, but around the same time to give you motivation, to keep your energy levels up, to keep, your grandfather says, your chin up, and your grandmother says your eyes forward, okay, and focused on what's coming up right around the bend. And I think right now what you're just waiting on are some circumstances, 2 of them in particular, to play out. And once those answers come, you'll be able to make some moves. And they will be coming, I'm hearing, within 6. I thought it was 6 to 7 months, but I actually think this may be more like weeks, 5 to 6 weeks. And then we have some answers and we can make some changes. But this cycle will be completely done and in your rear view mirror by the 6th month out from now. Okay. A ton of love to you from them as well. Edgar Velardes is next. Edgar says, what blessings are coming to me during January? of 2026. Blessings for Edgar in January 2026. The second week of the month, we have some money dropping into your bank account. Sort of speaks for itself. This is the type of money that is long lasting. It could be used for investment. It is the type of money that, doesn't just come with something like, I don't know, a tax rebate. It's probably coming from the employer is how it looks to me, as some type of a pay raise. This is something you can count on, and it will be repetitive. Okay, short and sweet on that message. There's also love coming into you in the third week. And this looks very much like angel feathers falling. White feathers are closely connected to angel activity. They can also be connected to your loved ones in spirit, typically females, maternal energies, who bring in a lot of healing energy to you and are working to make sure in this case that, the other person is open to the healing this relationship can bring, and you are open to the healing this relationship can bring. Well, how do two people come together and receive if they've been doing their own healing on themselves? Okay, because we have people coming together all the time that are not ready to receive it. And that means they haven't done the inner work, So I think what we're looking at here is from now until then, and this has actually been going on the last 7 or 8 months, you guys are both individually working a lot on healing yourselves. Okay, and then you get to come together in what looks like this romantic endeavor. This could very well be work related, or at least I have you talking to this person quite a lot about work, but I do think it's someone from work. I have like a lighter brown hair, but I'm not sure if they lighten it deliberately because it looks darker naturally. Take it out resonates, and this person may be on the shorter side. I feel like below 5'5". I think there's a lot of banter, and it starts as a friendship between the two of you, but there's some type of loving gesture that comes in, possibly even now. I know your question is about January, but like possibly even now, where it's like, I don't know, they're giving you a gift. I mean, I saw her giving you a candy cane, but like, that's kind of a crappy gift, right? I don't think it's just that. I think it's some kind of gesture, like a thoughtful gesture, where she gives you something, and it's very sweet. And it can also be kind of masqueraded, sort of hidden in with the holidays. Like, I'm not really trying to hit on you, it's the holidays. This is what we do. It's like the kissing under the mistletoe idea, right? But who placed themselves under the mistletoe next to who, So there's that, but it does seem to come to fruition around the third week. And I would just say, be on it. Okay. Be ready to kind of move on that or make it happen the rest of the way. Beautiful. Melsubi 75 says, thank you so much, Ivy and Grandma and Pa. I needed this message. Okay. So Melissa, that was Melissa who was our first message. Beautiful. All right. I'm glad that helps. And they'll be with you for a while on a regular basis. I mean, they're always there, but on a regular basis for a while. We have another one coming in here from Rizzy Things on TikTok. So Rizzy Things, also known as Rezwana. What a gorgeous name, Rezwana. Rezwana says, will Osman contact me? If so, when? Osman? Well, I heard yes. The thing is, it doesn't feel like it's wholehearted, or it doesn't feel very well thought out, or it doesn't feel, I don't want to say it doesn't feel very planned out, because it's definitely planned out. Okay. More than a little planned out. How it gets done, when it gets done, this sort of sloppy approach or sloppy manner. I mean, even that, is somewhat planned out, but it doesn't feel very well thought through, because I think this person in when dealing with you is deliberately being thoughtless. And I don't think it's from nerves. I think it's from a desire to stay in a position of control, a desire to stay in a position of power, authority to be able to kind of manipulate the situation the way I want it. So it's like, if it's going to, thank you, TikTok. It's like, if this is going to be something I do, it's going to be done in my way. There's a very my way or the highway energy and attitude with this person. And you can see it in the way they, you know, when they don't communicate, and then when they do, how, and when in the past patterns, you know, there's a lot of control going on here. So I do think it's going to happen. I do feel like you're also needing to be a bit watchful in the way that you want to make sure this stays away from it kind of feels like a cat and mouse situation, a game of chase. Immediately upon the contact, which could be happening in, I'm getting 3, could be as soon as 3 weeks, but I would even say, could it be 3 hours? Maybe. I was going to say more like 3 days. Highly likely, the 3rd day going into the 4th day, something like that. I'm also seeing like 1:30. Now everybody's free will, so I can't 100% guarantee. I can't control this person like a robot. They have free will, so they could change that up. But I would almost bet on this, okay, that it not only is going to happen, but it's going to happen within that time frame, because again, this individual is a huge planner. And so it's like, once my mind is made up, that's how it's going to go. So I could almost bet on this, okay? But I do think that you're, upon receiving, you know, this message from this person, it's like you're pulling your energy back. I immediately seeing you pulling your cards back, keeping your cards close to your vest, and being like, I'm going to hold my energy in a little bit, and I'm going to approach this cautiously, slowly, meticulously. And I think, what other choice do you have? I think that's a wise approach. All right, thank you. Abby Hicks is next. I am fasting, you guys, so I'm still on my weight loss journey, and if you hear growls, it's literally me dying over here. All right, so I'm trying to have my tea that like calms it, but this tea only does so much. Let's see. Abby says, I'm feeling so many changes coming. Seeing 555 often. Okay. Do you see anything coming in 2026? Well, yeah. You know, I think that 5, first thing to understand about that is it is change in multiple areas happening simultaneously. So the number 5, and then seeing it multiple times like this, there's no way you're not going to feel it. You're going to feel it energetically. You're going to feel it psychically. You're going to feel it in your dreams. You're going to start having deja vus. You know, you may even start to feel triggered. I call it Chihuahua syndrome. So psychics who don't necessarily understand what information is coming in sense change like this a mile away. And it could read physically or energetically to you like a threat, or the other shoe's going to drop, or the winds of change are coming, and it's sort of this majestical feeling. And the human body tends to react to it in a negative way, like, you know, a lion is coming or a woolly mammoth is coming, when in actuality, it could be a lot of positive change. And then we get tense like a chihuahua. Okay, so we want to be careful that we're handling this in, I want to say, calm yourself down and take it slow, stay centered, learn some new skills, getting rooted and grounded, because the whole year is going to be pretty active in new things, but especially the next 3 months, 3 months going into 4 months. And so we want to be present for it. We want to make the right moves at the right time, right? And I think what's coming in for you, I do have some relationship stuff actually coming in. That's not what I was going to say, but it is popping in here. I was going to talk about some work and money, some career stuff going on, some investment stuff happening. We've got 6 to 7 months, which is going to be what, June, July. We've got investment stuff going on. We've got residency stuff, potential residency change, residency upgrades. This could also be work environment. So I always say with a residency upgrade or residency change, talk about the 2 places you spend the majority of your time. So home and work for most people. Okay, so we'll see shifts around that time. The idea of being able to invest is a big deal. I think the relationship stuff coming in, and this is a little earlier in the year, is going to be a little bit of a, I'm hearing challenged, where you may be dealing with someone romantically where they really struggle quite a lot to let go, to be vulnerable, to show the soft underbelly, to compliment you even. It's like, if you've ever dealt with someone, I had an ex who would say stupid stuff to me all the time, like, well, I know men aren't supposed to compliment women. You know, I was like, you're a moron. You're a moron. Like, this will never last. Just, you know, like, you should have hidden that. If you're capable of, you know, thinking that, you should know to hide that at the very least. Like, it's a desire to keep control. And so there is a challenge here, but a karmic challenge without a doubt on this person to get them to give up their ego and create some actual intimacy and connection with you. You know, intimacy comes through vulnerability. It doesn't come through sex or anything else. I mean, unless sex is a real vulnerable time for you. You know, I mean, it's really through exchanges. So intimacy is built through vulnerability, and a lot of it is like emotional vulnerability and things like this. You know, or telling stories about your life, revealing. This person clearly has some ego issues in that they don't want to seem weak in any way. They don't want to expose their weaknesses to you because you could maybe use it against them, you know, and stuff like this. But then the relationship just treads water, you know, if we're not willing to do that. So there's a whole lot going on here. I do think, though, it's potentially, you know, working out. I do think that this person is, you know, maybe handling all of this in such a way where they're proving that they're willing to grow by doing the work. And this could be very interesting. Okay, lots happening. Those are just a couple of the things. New car, too. Yeah, new car. Brandon, 1785, says, I had some life changes. I'm open to anything coming through. Okay. Well, what I'm really feeling here with you, Brandon, is that you're getting back in the driver's seat. So you're actually coming into a period of control, and you are growing and evolving. I think this is coming through transmutation. This is coming through alchemy, meaning this is coming through your own efforts, okay, to process where you've been, what you've been through, what people have exposed to you as well, because it seems like you've seen a lot of things. Now, I want to say within the last 8 months to about a year and 2 months, but it seems like 6 different things that you've seen or have been revealed to you. So these could just be breakthroughs on the way you think, okay, revelations in the way you understand people and systems, and ultimately where you are and who you are in all of that, and who you strive to be, and how you can take any discomfort or pain or loss and alchemize it, transmute it from pain to power. And I think that's where you are. You seem to be very willing to do the work, especially in the last ballpark 3 months, okay, but 2 to 3 weeks in particular, and even the last like 3 days, you've been really very willing. Your numerology is increasing, you know, signs and symbols from the universe and spirit are increasing. Remember, a lot of the signs and symbols you get are actually coming from your own higher mind. So like the way you're dealing with yourself and talking to yourself, leading yourself, you know, is increasing. So that you're no longer, let's say you were functioning the majority of your life up until these changes as the fleshy part of Brandon. You were, you know, in your ego. You were coming from a place of maybe even fear, manipulation, control, fleshy desires, emotions, all the human things, okay? And now you're being led more, again, by your higher mind. And that's the part of you that knows everything and is wise and will never steer you wrong, and brings peace, you know, just a knowing, the all-knowing, the great understanding. And I think what comes up for you right around the bend, probably within the next 2 to 3 months, but I'm hearing 3 months really. It hits again at 5 months, it hits again at 9 months. You are looking at the results from that growth. So good karmic payout. This will come in the form of money, for the most part, resources, but some are opportunities, prosperity opportunities, and people, like relationships. And I feel like deeper, meaningful relationships, as well as some work opportunity, like networking stuff. So that's good. Absolutely. Yeah, lots going on. All right, thank you. Do we have another one? All right, thank you. So Deanna Marie says, does my mom Eileen? All right, so this is for Deanna. And Deanna wants to hear from mom Eileen. Have a message for me. Also, on that note, I wanted to remind you guys that I am doing holiday hours. I don't normally, regular price, but a lot of people need it at this time of year, and a lot of people need it this year. Okay, more than I've ever seen. So again, internationally, I do have holiday hours. That's going to be Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. All right, and I'm not upcharging or anything like that. So if you need it, don't try to go through the holidays, alone. Use it. Now, Deanna Marie wants to hear from Eileen. Any messages from mom? From mom to Deanna? She's just laughing at you. I don't know what you've been doing. It's like you're very maybe confused. You weren't confused. You are now. It's like you start doing something and then you're confused. I feel like whether you were making a cup of coffee, you can't remember what you were doing, and you forgot to put in the cream, or you're trying to cook something or bake something. It's like, what did I do with this and that ingredient? It's like, what did I even do with these at all? Like, where did they go? And then there's this sense of like, what was I just doing? Or why did I walk in this room? Or where are my keys? And where's this checkbook? Or where's this paperwork? Or like, where's the, I don't know. It's just it's like changing on me all the time. All these random things. I feel she travels with you also. So she's with you quite a bit, like in the vehicle, and working the radio, sending you certain songs popping in your head, especially around this time of year. So if you guys have like certain holiday songs, that you loved, that remind you even like of childhood, here like Dominic the Donkey. I mean, that's oddly specific, I got another one. I can't tell who this is. I wanted to say Roy Orbison, but I don't think that's accurate. It sounds like Roy, maybe. And then I'm hearing a Frank Sinatra song. There seems to be some very particular songs that may bring you back, to a special time that you guys shared together. And then she's just talking about trying to help you when you're looking for stuff, or you're lost or discombobulated. But it's like, I can't help her. It's like, I can't help her. All I can sometimes do is laugh. And then I see her like pushing your keys, or pushing this checkbook, or pushing something at you and being like, right here, like it's right there, or it's right in front of your face. You're holding on to it, or whatever. And then you get it. So I do feel like you can literally hear her. Okay. So she uses clairaudience, which usually comes with like a ringing in the left ear, like a tinnitus. And then she can put thoughts in your head, but it isn't just, music and songs. Sometimes it's like, look over here, do this thing. And she is trying to visit, I feel like a cardinal. I feel like cardinals as well. Cardinals, and in a dream. I feel like you're going to be seeing her in a dream. I don't think it's tonight. Maybe it's tomorrow. Either way, I'm within like one. Okay. One. And she loves you very much. Also, I don't know if you're worried about a male, or you lost a brother, or you're worried about a brother, or it's just like, there's talk of you also trying to reach out like to a male, or thinking on a male. And she just wants you to, I don't know, put more of your attention and energy on yourself. Everybody's good. Everyone has their own journey. Everybody is where they're meant to be right now. Focus on you. Every time you tend to overreach or want to overgive to a situation or a person, or worry about anything, try to put it back into you, pour into you a little bit more. She's going to be helping you do that. She loves you very much. TikTok, we have Maria Elena. Okay, Maria Elenia. Hi, Ivy. I'd like to see what comes through for me. Okay, so a general message for Maria Elenia. I feel as though you've been focused on two different things, okay? One is your money and resources and what almost feels like a lack thereof. And the other one is boundary setting. You may have, and don't think these two aren't directly like correlated here, right? When we don't set proper boundaries the way we should have, when we were overreaching, overgiving, we tolerated situations, especially in like the work environment or with contracts or shared income that we should not have tolerated, we will see a dip. I call it negative karmic kickback. We will see a dip in all areas of life when we're entertaining something we're not supposed to be. So there could have been a lot of that going on. There's also a reference here to you going back, needing to look back to 2013. And I would even say this may have come up again in 2023, so pay attention. There could have been something that went on with partnerships in 2015 because of what happened in 2013. There were a bunch of situations that happened here. And then it feels like you knocked some of it out in 2016. There were a bunch of situations that happened where you set some good boundaries, but maybe have backpedaled. The universe has a funny way of testing us over and over again to see if not only did we, learn the lesson, or we could preach on the lesson. We can talk till the cows come home about a lesson, but when we're tested, do we hold the line or do we fold? Do we make the same mistake again? Do we revert back to old habits? And it looks like you have in some ways. So the first lesson here, and recently in recent months, you've been looking more and more at it and taking action toward it, which is great. But it's about boundary setting. It's about, not giving more than what you receive. The other thing is quite literally on your money and your resources. And I do have a grandmother who comes through here. I want to say using blue jays and some kind of bigger brown bird. Now, I thought this was a hawk, but as I look closer, I'm wondering if it's some type of like a woodpecker or something. It has a long beak. It has a long, pointy, like a bigger one than what most birds do. And, this is about being resourceful. Okay. This type of bird is very resourceful. If it's a woodpecker, I don't know what they do. They peck wood and they make homes and they find food in there. I'm assuming. I don't know what they're doing with the trees, but I do think that with a beak like this, it's about getting food. Okay. It's like we see this with birds who fish, who get their own, supply from the water. And those are all prosperity symbols. Those are all symbols of resources, but not like flighty, fly by night resources. These are long-term prosperity and leverage. So I think that what you're getting into and what you should expect going forward, and she's helping you with this, ballpark the next, I want to say there's some talk of 6 months, some changes going on, and then about a year and 2 months to a year and 3 months, you could see an increase in your resources or your opportunities to increase. And it's going to require that you're not wasting your energy on a bunch of people and situations or old work that no longer fits you. And you are willing to boldly move into something that is more fulfilling and you're being called for. Okay, so big things coming up with that as well. Manny says, hi, Ivy. Does a friend of mine named Dave B, okay, Dave B, have a message for me? Thank you. Dave B, what do you have for Manny? He's kicking a ball toward you. Feels almost like a soccer ball, and then I saw it turn into a football. So I don't know. Maybe you are into football, but regardless, balls in my symbol base are about fun. Your inner child, having a good time. This is remembering to let your inner child out and to feed your, whether it be creativity or passions or excitement or just even pampering or silliness, okay, in this case. I also feel like it's really important for you to, you know, feed the banter that you have with other people. So, you know, this reminds me of like you playing in a band. You know, it's very satisfying. You feel, you know, I mean, I've never, you know, like I did this back in school, I guess. So it is kind of, yeah, satisfying in that way. Like when you do anything as a group project, right? Like you play in a band or you're channeling. I mean, this is even like giving readings or even when I was doing personal training, it's sort of a high. You know, you connect with people, and I get this at vendor events sometimes too. It's like you get this high, you're getting high off the vibe, you're getting high off the connectivity and the vibration, and everyone's sort of like working together or being fluid, right? You're in flow with these other people. It's like being at a concert or, you know, stuff like that. I think this is really important for you right now. And this is what he's bringing to you. So when he comes in to visit you, he's bringing that energy, he's bringing that vibe, that high vibration, right? That raising of your energy level. But I also think that quite literally, he's encouraging you to do more of that. Now, you may have to get tickets for that, you know, or buy a class, or you may have to like actively, you know, go out and get an instrument and get involved. But a lot of it with you, and I feel like between you and him, a lot of it just came from regular banter. And so, you know, some people get pretty high off communication, kind of like extroverts, you know, they get real high off communication with other people. And I feel like you need more of that, or like your higher mind wants more of that, you know, right around this time. I also feel like people want to see more of you or have more of you, get more from you even. But in a positive way. And he wants you to know that, you know, he loves you and he keeps an eye on you, often correcting you when you try to smooth things over that you shouldn't. Like, wake up. This needs to be addressed. You know, this shouldn't be swept under the carpet. And when you need to feel a little more love. Not to say you're deprived of love, you know, from your loved ones, but like sometimes you just need a little something extra. And then he also leaves you pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, tokens. Okay, so pennies from heaven should be something else you're expecting to find in random places around this time. He loves you very much. We have another one coming in. Oh yes, and if I didn't say it, this is unlimited tonight. Normally it's limited to 2 questions, but tonight for the holidays, and I don't know, maybe indefinitely, we'll see. You guys can ask as many questions as you want, so go ahead and keep them coming. I forgot to ask everyone in the beginning of the show to please drop a comment of any kind. If you could let me know where you're tuning in from, I am really curious. If you could drop even an emoji, it helps me out a lot in the algorithm. Give this video a thumbs up. Please do subscribe and share this video. Next one up is Razwana. And Razwana says, will I meet my forever person next year? I want to get married. I love Osman, but thinking about pulling back forever. Yeah, I remember your question from earlier. I would pull back from Osman if I were you, because why pull teeth? Like, there's no part of a loving relationship that starts with this type of headache, this much work and labor just to try to almost feel like you're forcing someone or you're coercing them into something. If he can't come with more game than this, I mean, I would if I were you. You know, maybe he'll be ready in a few years. I wouldn't wait, because he doesn't seem to be motivated, you know, to grow or change. And there is this attitude toward you. And then I'll move on to the rest of your question here. But there is this attitude toward you, you know, from him, that you aren't going anywhere, you know, which is incredibly cocky. It's like, who do you think you are? You know, you have lots of other options. So I think the first part of the question was, you know, that you want to get married and is your forever person. There is no such thing as a forever person. right? Twin flames are a total myth and a scam and a con and dangerous. That's not true. You are not half of a whole. You are a whole, okay? So I never even heard of twin flames until recent years, and people are making a ton of cash off of it. It's ridiculous. Don't ever fall for that. Especially dangerous for women who are holding on to an abusive or neglectful partner, okay? That's a message for everyone. But we do have soulmate contracts, and we do have karmic partners, and we do have soul tribe members, and all of those are contracts that come with cords. And you get, let's say, soulmate energy, which would be the nicest one for you to choose as a marital partner or long-term monogamous partnership, whatever that you're looking for. The best one to choose would be a soulmate. You get 5 to 6 of those over the course of your entire life. There isn't one of them that's higher ranking than the others. So you don't have a forever person or the one, right? It's whichever one you choose. And I would highly recommend you choose the one that comes ready. You choose the one, even if they're not 100%, ready, they are at least willing to grow and change and do the work. And they prove that in patterned, consistent behavior. Now, you do have someone coming in that I like, and I think you will like and find very attractive. This person has lighter eyes. It almost looks like when someone has light brown eyes, they almost look kind of hazel or like amber. And I see darker hair, like biceps, kind of big through here, but not. This is someone who's sort of lanky, but they definitely go to the gym. It's like, I will not be lanky my whole life. Like, I will not, just settle for this. So, it takes a lot to build this much muscle. So I think this person is like regularly going to the gym, definitely has a gym membership, definitely is also working out at home, because I see dumbbells, but like my little gym area, even in my house. So if I can't get to the gym or I want to do extra at home, like I will. This person is invested. When you see someone capable of this level of self-care and maintenance and manifestation, like I want my body to look a certain way, and it isn't naturally this way, that is going to require a tremendous amount of discipline and consistency. This person shows up, and he's hot, the dark hair, the light eyes, nice, tan skin. I think this is someone you could look at forever, and I'm hearing listen to forever. That can also mean that he sings. I don't know if he's just singing in the car, but it's like he could sing. Like he could, I don't think he's trying to sing professionally, but he has a beautiful voice. There's something very kind of charming. There's something just very charming about this individual. Many layers, and not hustling, not here to play games. Okay, so you seem to meet, and there is an immediate connection that's due to the soulmate connection, the cords, the contract, and a desire to work on it and be together. So you may choose that person, but we'll see. We'll know within the first probably year and a half where it's going, in the first three years, whether it's really a good long-term fit. Abby wants to know one more question. It's unlimited, so you can ask as many as you want. I have been feeling someone around me lately, maybe from my mother's side. Any help understanding their message would help. Well, I feel a grandfather coming through, and I see a grandmother watching over you, but I'm also hearing great. And so I do wonder what is happening with this. And I feel like I can't breathe. I don't know if you could hear that, but I'm literally like not choking, but it's like my windpipe collapsed or something. And an aunt who may have smoked or had a cancerous condition as well. So this isn't one person. This isn't one person coming through. Although I do feel like they're all coming through for similar reasons, and that is to elevate your energy, check up. If you've had any health or mental health stuff going on, I can't prescribe or diagnose, but I do honestly feel like they're coming in to boost your immune system, and they're coming in to boost your, I heard joy, which, is the best medicine for mental health and physical health, all right, and healing in general. I mean, it's even biblical, right, that in joy we have strength. And when something wants to attack our strength, it attacks our joy. So, you know, it's like a law of the universe. I think that what's happening here is that they're coming in to bring you protection, but they're coming in to boost all this for you. You seem to have some drains, and I don't want to sugarcoat, and I don't want this message to go like way over into, you know, left field, but you have some drains around you. You have a couple people who are drains, like deliberately, they know they're draining you and they don't care. They're going to continue to do it for as long as you allow it. You have some stuff going on with like work and resources. You have some, like, you could say money or work drains. You need to do some evaluating on where I'm hearing where she puts her time, where she puts her energy. And that's not just about your time and your effort. That could also be about your mental energy, your emotional energy, where your thoughts go. Some of this is feeling a little bit like you need to get out of the ghetto. Like you are choosing things, people, you know, situations that really aren't entirely for you. And it's like, what is she doing there? I think that sometimes addressing stuff like this can be a bit scary. And so when we allow our decisions to be made ever from a place of fear instead of love, they will eventually implode and they will start to really come off the rails and feel like drains. Okay, and then that manifests in some of these ways. So there's that going on. Yeah, I also feel like your house is just a little haunted. You know, little Grand Central Station going on. Like the land is a little haunted. The neighbor's house is certainly haunted. The neighbor on the other side, down a little ways, is certainly haunted. I hear trains. I don't know if that's literal or if it's from this one male, but I see water. So it's like a creek or a river or a, you know, these are conductors also of paranormal activity. So you've got an increase that way as well. We're going to move on to Edgar Velardes. Says, I finished accumulating my hours for my clinical license during April of 2026. Will my job, Starlight, offer me a different position with higher pay around that time? They will. They will. And you could also look into 2 other positions. But these are like, I don't know why the one looks connected. I heard outsourced. Maybe there's another company that you could go to that is affiliated in some way, or you're finding out about it or being offered something through someone at Starlight. But then there's another one that is entirely separate. So we have 2 other options, one connected, one not. And I think that because of the offer they give you, you may be saying something to the tune of, wow, they made really crappy offers in the past, but this one's actually pretty good. You know, this one trying to keep me is like proving they want me here, and like I may consider it, you know. So you may take the easier route, and I'm not saying because it's an easy route, it's a bad route. It just is easier not to transfer and have to relearn everything and start over again. I do feel in a lot of ways like you're not done there, and that's just my opinion. I think that, well, you could pick up other, I'm hearing expertise at some other locations. You could also technically do that your own way, and you could get some of it even through Starlight if you keep navigating and sort of pushing and expanding. It's not necessarily going to be handed to you there, but there is a sense of unfinished business there. And there's also a sense of, with this money being a good offer. Okay. Now they have free will and they can make the liar out of me. I'm highly doubting it, like 80% likelihood this is going to happen this way. But with this great money offer, I also feel like your work relationships are falling into place, you know, just before that offer comes in, and it's making everything blend in such a way where it's like, I feel, you know, home, or I feel like this is the best route to take. I feel like I am where I belong now. Okay. So if they do what would be wise for them to do, I feel good about all of this. Yeah. Can't really judge the past on what's coming up. We have another one coming in here from Sweetie P. 1024, aka Maraid. Maraid says, hi Ivy, can you tell me what my love life will look like in 2026? I've been feeling a bit discouraged from my recent interactions with men. Well, that's funny you say that, because I see more women coming your way. So if you're open to bisexuality, lesbianism, whatever, a lot of women are jumping ship and doing their best, right, to switch teams. I think there will be options for that. But as far as men are concerned, in 2026, what will the love life look like for Maraid? I feel like there's a certain level of intimidation, because I have people trying to approach you. I have people wanting to approach you, which is a totally different thing. But I have people trying to approach you and feeling a little like taken aback. I'm a little like scared. I guess they're scared. We have to give men a little credit here, because, that's got to be intimidating. I guess if you have low self-esteem, it's got to be intimidating sometimes, because you run the risk of rejection, and that's not comfortable for anyone. I think that they don't feel necessarily that you're going to reject them, but they do feel that you're better than them. They do feel that even if they can get the date, and they can start to lock down the relationship in some way, they can't keep you. They can't maintain you. And they should be afraid. I mean, that is something worthy of being, they're not going to get rejected right away, but as soon as their mask slips, or they stop performing, or they can't be the guy they wish they could be, or be the guy they hope they can be, they're feeding you a bunch of BS thinking, I can maintain this. It's like, no, you can't. If you didn't come ready, you're not ready. And it's going to read as deception and will automatically end up in rejection. So they're sensing it ahead of time. And so they're kind of afraid of you, right? They're pulling back. I would take it as a compliment, because you don't want people approaching you unless they know they're ready, or they're pretty sure they're ready, right? They're not coming in hustling in any way. And I think what happens around the middle of the year, it's almost like the end of the second quarter going into the third quarter, things shift for you. And it's not even really you as much as it's like you just are living more in that energy of not wanting it. Sometimes you have to deliberately be like, good, don't come here. Just don't come here with your nonsense. I can't even. Sometimes it's good to get to that point, because the universe responds really well to when we don't need something, when we don't want something, and then we get that thing, but in a high vibration. So it's that, but it's really them that changes the most, because then you seem to be getting approached regularly, and almost like a rapid fire. It's like on this app and that app and this app. And I see you on 3 to 4 apps at that time. I don't know if you're on Facebook dating. I give Zuckerberg one pass in life, and it's on Facebook dating. It's incredibly good. This is just a message for everyone, because it's based on your algorithm, mutual friends, interests, things like that. So he's hooking up soulmates. He's also, be careful, because the lunatics show up there because they're masking and pretending, like stalking and pretending to be what you want. So there's that too. But I see you having some hits on Facebook dating. And yeah, I see someone taller and kind of muscular, like lean, natural muscle, big muscles in the legs too. I don't know if this person played like soccer. They may horse around with like basketball too. Brown hair, lighter eyes, loves the beach, even though they burn every time they go out there. Mechanical, or I think I was talking the engineer's mind. Okay, this person understands how systems fit together. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. Yeah, you may spend some time with that one. Yep, let it come in, let it do its thing. Eric E says, when will I get my own place to live? I've been waiting for an apartment at One Bell Slip. Okay, at One Bell Slip? Bell Slip? Since August. I'm thinking of just giving up on waiting to see what happens. Okay. Okay, so let's just get back to the main part of the question. I've been waiting for an apartment. Okay, when will I get my own place? Okay, let's just go with that and see what the options are here, and then you can decide, I don't know, what's going to work best for you. It does look like you have 3 different options. You have one that looks like kind of waiting on this bell slip thing. If I'm reading that right, it's like I'm waiting on this, I'm waiting on this, I'm waiting on this. My God. Like, you can't make this stuff up. Literally the same message I just gave to Mairead just before you, go back and listen, on relationships is the same identical message I'm getting for that option, which is when you no longer need it or when you no longer want it, here it comes. It shows up, okay? So that's how law of attraction works. That's how manifestation works. That's how being in alignment with things work. It's like I'm claiming it, but I'm not needy for it. I have to fix the TikTok puzzle. So you guys just bear with me for a minute here while I do this. So there is this option for you to almost not need it. Where the hell? It's like I don't need it or I don't want it anymore. And I think the only way that's really going to happen for you is if you're looking into other options, you're actively moving toward other options. Luckily there are some, so you may have many choices, multiple choices simultaneously after a season of just dryness. When it rains it pours, and things do tend to come in sets of 3. So this seems like, when I look at the other ones, it may be something you're working on getting with someone else. I'm not saying it's necessarily a roommate. I mean, it could be, but it could be like a financial advisor or a broker, or, you know what I mean? Like a landlord, somebody, I don't know. It just seems like you're working with someone else. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok, to find this thing, to lock this thing down. And it's a little tight. It's a little small, but it's doable. It's better than the situation you have, I think. The other option is to, it almost feels like I'm looking online. It's like I'm looking online and I'm getting this old school image of you going to the library. The library in my symbol base is about, resources. It's networking. It's using resources. It's not reinventing the wheel. You know what I mean? It's doing your research and finding out what's sort of available to you. And so there's that coming up as well. And I think that if you were to really hustle, let's say online, or networking, or even getting into chats, these days people don't really go to the library for stuff like that. They go online. They go into different groups and community spaces to find these types of things. So there's that as well. And I think you have a lot of options. Yeah. I do want to say, on that note, a lot of people this week, a lot of my clients have come to me and said, I just feel overwhelmed. I can't even imagine how this thing is going to work. Like, where do I start? What do I do with this? And it's, when we look at it, it's really not that complicated. There's actually a lot there. And so I think everyone's in a little bit of, maybe it's with the astrology. Let me know. Okay. If you guys know a lot about where the astrology is right now, but like, people feel blocked. People feel sometimes even hopeless, or people are really feeling like there's not going to be a breakthrough. And it's so tangible, like it's right there. Okay. It's very close. And there are so many options. But we have to get in tune with that a little bit better. Sometimes we shut down our intuition toward those things when we get stressed. We're going to move on. Okay. So this is last call. All right. So if you guys are looking to get a reading, this is it. This is last call. So you're going to go ahead. You're going to drop your $10 donation and you are going to drop your question. And it can be about absolutely anything under the sun. And we are doing unlimited today. We are going to move on. This is from Instagram. This is Sarah Martello. Sarah says, can you tell me what mine and Axel's relationship will be? Okay. What it will be? Well, I mean, ultimately it's going to be what you make it, but it feels as though dealing with Axel could be a little bit of combination of pulling teeth and carelessness, or like, I don't really care. Like, I don't really care where it goes. Now, when I see that, and we're talking about relationship maintenance, we're talking about relationship growth, relationship development. You know, I'm not saying Axel won't like deliver or show up sometimes. You know, it's not that. It's about the maintenance of a relationship. And if a relationship, of course, is not growing, and it takes a lot to make it grow, just like a plant. If it's not growing, then you're going to suffer the consequences of that. And so you don't want to highly invest just in case. So I would be very honest about the patterns that you see with Axel, patterns in the past, current patterns, you know, and make sure that if you're dealing with someone here who doesn't seem to think big picture, think we, thinks very me, you know, doesn't take it seriously, because it should be taken seriously. Your time, your effort, your love, your affection, that should be taken seriously. That should be treated like gold. Okay. I think that if we see a sort of lackadaisical attitude here, you may want to prepare yourself for the reality of that and say, well, our relationship can be whatever I want it to be, because that's true. In this situation, it is true. But you would have to do the heavy lifting. You would have to do the constant labor. You would have to do the parenting over the relationship. You would have to steer the ship. You would have to drive the car. You would have to direct it. You would have to maintain it. You would have to check it, checks and balances. You would have to do the meetings where we come together and talk about what's not working. And then you would have to also give the instruction on how it could be fixed, and then give them the tools to fix it, and then remind them to use those tools. And then, like, I don't know, are you in that? Are you into that? Is that like what, you know, we're hoping for? I don't think so. And so, you know, there are certain areas where that's not happening. And then there are a couple key areas where that is happening, and it cannot be happening. It cannot be happening. So I think that asking that question and understanding the reality and patterns, and not wanting to twist them, look past them, hold space, collect red flags, or override it with a desire that you have for it to be something more than what it is going to be key here to success. Now, if you could do that, you know, we may also see some growth. I think that sometimes people grow really well when they're confronted with someone who says to them, step up or get out of the way. You know, you want to be here or not, earn it. You know, earn it, because you're certainly earning it. But you cannot overreach, or you'll get negative karmic kickback. Okay, so just remember, stay in your lane. Yeah, we'll see. And there's certainly enough attraction. There's certainly enough passion. There's certainly enough desire to be together. It's like magnets. You know, I would love it if that were enough for what you're looking for, but it's going to have to be these other things as well. Tuning in from New York State, love and beloved 5497. Awesome. All right. Good to see you guys. If you guys haven't dropped a comment or given this video a thumbs up, please do so at this time. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And just a reminder, if you guys want to book your own private reading, I do work internationally. You can also get a video reading if you prefer that. Instead of doing a phone reading with me, you can also book in person. So just go onto the website, Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. And we have Edgar. Okay, I think I screwed this up here real quick. Hold on. Edgar is next. What did I do? Edgar says, I gave Jennifer a birthday gift, and surprisingly, she gave me a hug, which was a first. What did she think about the gift? Aw, that's cute. I think she loved it, and I think she felt that it was thoughtful. It seems to, I heard resonating. It's resonating with her. So I think you displayed that you know her. Gifts are a great way to increase intimacy with someone. And I think, you know, when they're thoughtful, it's also a great way to push someone away entirely. But I think that it's a, you know, it's a test. Giving a gift is a test on a relationship, and you passed. I just want to say, like, you passed with flying colors. And it's a situation now where she not only knows that you really kind of know her, but that you're thoughtful. You're thoughtful about her, toward her. I feel, and I don't want to say she didn't get anything good, you know, or she's not getting anything good. Was it for her birthday, you said? Yeah, I think, like, I don't think she didn't get anything good, but, you know, there was a little bit of lack there. I think the other gifts that she got, even from, like, you know, family, I think it fell a bit flat. It was a little generic. It was a little, like, robotic, or I have to do this, therefore I'm doing it. You know, it feels kind of thoughtless. And I don't even know that people were, you know, it's like they don't really know her. That's all. They don't really know her, and they don't really want to know her. So this hit home. This was uplifting for her heart. And I feel like it really energized her quite a lot. I also feel like there's something playful going on here. So possibly with the gift, but it's like this playful energy, you know, now has transferred, you know, between the two of you. And I think it's pretty cool. You know, I think that it has raised the bar a little bit, okay, for what she's expecting going forward. I also feel like she's let her guard down because of it a little bit more with you. So if she was, you know, hesitant to share, thank you for the hearts on TikTok. If she was hesitant to share, you may get more sharing, you know, of personal stuff out of her going forward. All right. Love and Beloved, 5497. Love and Beloved is next. Hi, Ivy. Is there anything that comes through related to our home and property that will be helpful to know? Our home and property? I don't have a number. Did they give the number? Okay, so they didn't give the number. They didn't give the address. I don't have a street name. I don't have anything. So is this the current home? Is this a different home? Is this a home you're hoping to buy? See, again, when we're talking about people, or we're talking about job comparison or property comparisons, I'm going to need that. But I'll wing it. I'll do the best I can. Okay, and there's a part 2 to this. So let's see. My name is Mindy. Oh, Mindy. Okay, so this is Mindy related to my question, and we are in upstate New York. Okay. So I'm assuming the home is in upstate New York that you're asking about. Hi, Ivy. Is there anything that comes through related to our home and property that will be helpful to know? Let's see what we're getting for Mindy's home. Is there anything Mindy needs to know about the home? I just feel like the wind, the siding, maybe frames on the doors, or the siding or the doors. I feel like sometimes even around, like, the windows, if I didn't already say that, and water. I'd be careful with water. Water in the basement, water in or the foundation of the house. This could also be water leading from, like, pipes into the house. So it doesn't have to literally be water in the house. It could be what's, like, under the lawn. You know, it could be the side as well. Like, I think if I'm facing the front, I'm looking to the right side. Okay, and then even a little bit on the front left, but that's a smaller pipe. There's just like a lot of pipes. There's a lot of water or sewage and stuff that has to be there, and it doesn't always seem to work very well with the house. So if we need to make any upgrades there or seal anything or double check anything, I would be mindful about that. The fact that I'm looking at siding and I'm looking at like the image I was given was almost like the wind comes, and then like, and that makes sense because I was gonna say it reminds me of my own house here. Every time the wind blows, and you're in upstate New York, is that what you said? It's ridiculous. The weather is ridiculous here. So maybe it is high winds, maybe it is the wind affecting, or the weather conditions affecting the frames of the windows and the doors and the siding itself. Now, the only other thing I really see here is like the roof. And that looks incredibly similar to the siding, where like a chunk of the roof may come off or pieces of the roof may come off. It's not a whole problem. Like, oh my God, I have to replace this entire roof. I'm going to be in tens of thousands of dollars in the hole. I don't think so. I think it's like, maybe a patch job, or just be mindful because it will happen from time to time. Esmeralda Marie Rivera is here. Hi, Mama. She's up from her 6-hour nap. Hi, my beauty. Love you. So, there's that. There could be some stuff that you need to do. I was also seeing like paint, and I don't know if you wanted to like rearrange the rooms. It's almost like you looking at the house and saying like, I wish it was a different layout, or I wish I could like add more. I wish I could move things around. It's very hard to move a room. It's hard to do a completely different layout, even if it's like on a kitchen or something. It's a lot of work, but I even feel like you may be making some investments in that. And yeah, and these are good. And I'm using that word investments because if you're looking to sell at some point, it will work in your favor. So I wouldn't hesitate from that either. Yeah, there's actually quite a lot coming up with this property. Did you want to come up and say hi to everybody? Okay. No, she said. All right, that's fine. Okay, and we are at time. Can you just pop up real quick, Diana, what the next show is going to be? So we're going to wrap this up. Just remember, I do have holiday hours, and I'm not charging additional for that. So if you are feeling down, if you struggle with the holidays, if you have loved ones that you're missing, don't battle it alone. Bookings are going to be open for, and I've never done this before, but I feel like this year we really need it, for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. Okay. So, go ahead and check that out. And I do wish everyone a happy holidays, of course, whatever it is that you celebrate, enjoy. And I am going to have my next show on, okay, this is a test show. I need you guys to tune in for this. I need you to give great feedback on it, okay? Or, I won't add it to the 2026 lineup, but if it gets great engagement from you guys on Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing a test show called Love and Relationships, where I will be taking all of your love and relationship, family, friendships, whatever, all of those questions. And you can also leave it open-ended, so you can just receive any type of message on those notes. And I will also have my regular show back here. I think it's Tuesday for the Unbound Sage. It's Monday is the Unbound Sage. And we have church service on Sunday. The sermon topic is when it's time to let go and how to do it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Great to be back. Happy holidays. Have a good night. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Spirit. What you doing?